Don't you hate it when you have a planner and your students leave it at home or it goes misplaced? Or even those crumpled up papers, or it somehow has all of these drink spills all over it. Here is a digital planner where you're able to see all of your students in one swipe, and you're able to even add in different assignments for them. Students can share this with their parents if they need to as well, so the parents can also check in to see how they're doing. First step is you'll want to just look over the planner and customize it for your own students. You might want to change the dates. This one is for May. You might change the outlines over here. Maybe you have ELA, math, science, social studies, encore, or notes. There's even a planner rubric right here if you want to do quick checks to make sure your students are following along using Avid. First step is I'm going to go to my Google Classroom and hit this blue Create. Once I hit Create, I'm going to make it a Kami assignment. Once I hit Create and make it a Kami assignment, I'm going to title it. I can add it from my Google Drive. And I can even come over here and make a copy or for every single student. This one would be if they wanted to share a copy. So maybe I wanted to type the planner for my students and they would just have one copy. But I want my students to begin to get that organization of creating a to-do list, typing down what they're to do to work on those executive functioning skills. You can choose your class or your classes. You can update your points. You can choose your topic. And now I'm going to hit assign. Once this assigns to my students are going to go over to their Google Classroom. Once they're here, they're going to go into their classwork tab. Once in, they're going to click on that planner and hit open with Kami. From here, your students can use multiple different tools. They can use the text box and they're able to type. Maybe they need to read chapter 1. Maybe they want to come in here and use the drawing tool to write chapter 2, right? So again, they have multiple different tools that they can use to write down their assignments. Students could even leave voice comments. I need to complete that worksheet from today. So again, they can come in, leave audio notes, they could do a screen capture, they could even take a screenshot or maybe use their camera tool and hold something up and say, oh, I really need to do this. Okay, so they have multiple different ways to add what they need to do to remind them using their weekly planner. Students can also use the markup tool and they can highlight as they complete different tasks. They can maybe use the drawing tool and check off as they've completed those tasks as well. Down here is the planning rubric, which is more for the teacher, but if they wanted to self-assess, they could kind of think about, how did I do this week? Here is a way for students to reflect. They can, again, use the text box, audio, video to think about those glows and those grows. What are things that they can celebrate, areas they can improve, and what's their next step? Then they have their next week where they're able to focus in again. If a student needed to share this with a parent, they just click on File, Share Assignment by clicking the Share File right here. They would just change it to anybody with the link, and then they can add their parent either as an editor or a viewer, copy this and email that link to their parent. So again, this can be a way if you need a parent to see their planners, they're able to have access via email by sending that link, and then they can open it up with Kami. As a teacher though, having multiple different checkpoints can be very, very difficult. So right here is my Google Classroom assignment. Because I created it as a Kami assignment, I now have open class view. And what class view gives me is a sneak peek on everybody's screen, everybody's planner at the exact same time. From here, I can see student 1, student 2. I can come all the way down and see that student that was adding all of those notes. My notebook checks, where I'm able to see those planners. I can say this is check number 1. And I can come in here and quickly check off how my students did. And I can add their scores over in this total score area. I can see their reflections. I can see their thoughts and ideas. If a student was absent, I can come over here to this student and write just for that student to see. I can also click on this green button, which will take me into that edit file, And I can come in here and I could create a video or a voice comment, and I could explain to my class what the assignment is for ELA. They're able to see my screen. If I go to another screen, they're able to see me popping over here, and I can say, okay, I want you to complete this testing playbook, page number 2, and I really want you to work through these ideas and topics. My students will have that video as soon as I hit update all, and then I click update. You can add text, you can add audio, video, whatever notes you might need to add. I can also come over here and say everybody today got a 4, and I can hit again that update all right here, update. And what's going to happen is every single student is now going to have that video on their screen along with that number 4. So there's that video for every single student, and there's that number on everybody's screen as well. So I can push out updates to all of my students using this green button, or if I just want to individually give some feedback or some support, I can also come in here and say, reminder, need this form filled out. And I can write that right on that student's screen. Just that one student gets that reminder. If I wanted everybody, again, I would click that green button. Can't wait to see how you use this planner in your classroom and how it supports your learners with executive functioning skills.